Okay, perfect. Can you hear me, Chelsea? Thumbs up. Perfect. Okay, everyone. As Chelsea was saying, we are super excited. It's been, quite the weekend. I say if you come off of Elite Academy and you're not excited, then you were at a different place than we were, because I think every time we go, we get more excited and more jacked up about what this company offers us and where we're going. So for those of you who don't know me, and probably a lot of you don't, I'm Desiree Mamet, and I'm from Casper, Wyoming. I'm a Pro 6 here in the company, and I get so excited every time I go to these events. It seems like you walk away with just exactly what you needed. What I know, God always gives the right people, the right speakers, those right things that tell us that we're in the right place at the right time. So thank you guys for jumping on tonight. And I know for a lot of you who are getting home, I literally just walked in the door about 40 seconds ago. So I know a lot of you guys are probably tired, excited. And, for some of you guys weren't able to make it this weekend. And so I hope that we can give you guys tonight just some few nuggets, things that we took away. It's hard to take in 2 days and actually explain what we learned and what we saw. But hopefully we can give you guys 30 minutes of just a recap of some really important things. But first off, before we get started, I really wanted to reiterate, the importance of these events. These events, I think we heard this over and over again from people who are, the biggest in network marketing. They talk about how big of a deal it is for people to attend these events. This is how we grow our business. This is our schooling. This is how we learn. This is how we grow personally as our teams, our knowledge in the industry, our knowledge with LifeVantage. So it is so important that you get registered for Long Beach. And so I think it's actually tonight, or maybe it's through the 22nd, that the pricing is $99 still. And so it is huge for us to get registered today. Hopefully some of you guys are already registered, or after this call, jump off and do that. We already have hotels where we're staying at. So make sure and message your team. If you don't know where those locations, we can get those out to you. But that is really important. And time again, those people that promote from event to event are the people that grow their businesses a lot faster. Because if you don't have a team there, then how are you able to grow? And we can't do this on our own. And that's the huge blessing about LifeVantage, is that we don't do this on our own, which makes it so much more fun. Also Cancun, they talked more about Cancun, and that's another thing. Until the end of July, you can register for Cancun and get the payment plan options. So they're really encouraging people, if you want to go on this trip and be a part of the first destination ever Elite Academy, you've got to get registered by the end of this month. And so, we hear a lot of, how the money, to register, for both of these different Elite Academies, that's a really big thing to take on. But the company is offering ways to earn it. And, we have the best comp plan ever. And so we are able to get paid weekly and get money back in our pockets to pay for these events, because I guarantee they're life-changing, and Cancun will be nothing different than life-changing as well. So get registered for those. If you guys have questions on that, please reach out to your team upline or us afterwards as well. So first off, I was just going to go over, I have a few people on my team that have been so gracious tonight to help me with this call, because I think that we each walk away with different things that we take away that are huge for us personally. I was personally going to go over first just a couple things. If you guys were there, how incredible Darren Jensen and our corporate team is. I think every event I walk away knowing that they have our backs, that they, not only love our company and network marketing, but they genuinely love us as distributors. So they truly are trying each and every day to try and figure out, how can we make this company go through momentum? How can we make our distributors retention higher for customers, for them? And I thought it was so neat that Darren Jensen was talking about our retention and how we are one of the top in our industry actually at retaining customers and distributors, which is huge. And so what does that say about not only our products, but about our culture, the integrity of the company itself? So I was going to share a couple of these. So Currently, though, we are one of the highest, like I said, for retaining customers and distributors. The only problem, like he was saying, is that we just need to enroll more. We need more customers and more distributors to get us through this wave of momentum. And that's what we all want to go for. We want people, everyone in the world, to know about Nerf2 activation, to know about biohacking, to know about LifeVantage. So our company, since we are at the top of this right now, currently, Darren Jensen was saying that we currently enroll around 12,500 customer and distributors a month. So what we need that number to be 15,000. And so what I'm encouraging all of you guys to do, and this is my goal, is to go out and, make that number this week. The company is offering us through the end of July, if you enroll 3 new customers with a volume of 300 or more PV, they're giving you 100 points towards Cancun. So what a better incentive to not only go out and help enroll new people, but also to get yourself some points towards that trip. So I thought that, when we look at that number, when you're looking at the difference between 12,500 and 15,000, how many distributors? There was around 5,000 people at the event this weekend. So if we each just enrolled 1 or 2 this week, look what we could do for our company, because we are great at retention. So let's just start enrolling more people and sharing how big of a deal this is. And currently right now, it says that overall company-wide, we have 140,000 active subscribers, and we need around 300,000 to double our paychecks. And I love that, our corporate was talking about, don't you want to double your paycheck? I mean, don't we all? Wouldn't that be huge if you could double your paycheck in just a few months or even in a year? Because what other job can you go double your paycheck in a year even, or 5 years sometimes for that matter? So I thought that was a really interesting number that, we're about halfway there, but we need more customers and distributors to share to share the gift that we have here. So one of the things that corporate is launching to help us out in our business, there is a new product that's going to be coming out, but you have to be at Elite Academy in Long Beach to hear about it. They didn't really give us any information other than teasing us and letting us know that it's going to be in the same tier as Protandim Nerf2. So what that means to me is that this is going to be another category creating product. This is not just going to be another thing out there. This is going to disrupt this whole nutrigenomics and this whole biohacking world. So that's going to come out in a few months, and I can't wait to hear about it. They're calling it the Super 7. I don't know what that means. It's a code name. I've tried to figure it out. I have no idea, but I think it's going to be fun over the next few months to see, there are certain people in our company that are currently taking this. So I can't wait to see over the next few months, their testimonies, the things that they'll have to share about how this product, on top of everything else that our company offers, is changing how they feel and their lives. So one of the other really exciting things that our company, they listen to us. And I think that's really big, that we're still, and I think forever, even as we get bigger, they're still going to listen to us. But right now we're small enough that they really are listening to what things can we do to make our customer and our distributor experience better. One of the things they're going to offer, hopefully around the first time of the year, is free shipping. Because I know that we hear it a lot, like, money is tight for people, and having that extra $7 to $10 to $50 on shipping is huge. And so that kind of could make or break people from maybe taking 2 products versus just 1. So that's going to be a huge deal. So kind of wait to hear more about that after the first of the year. Another thing that they're going to do, hopefully around the first of the year, is daily pay. And when I heard that in the leadership meeting, I thought, are they real? Are they for real? Can they really pay us daily? Or how could that really happen? What other job could you literally, if you needed money tomorrow in your pocket, that you could make a decision to do action today to have money tomorrow? And so that's something that's also going to be coming into effect, hopefully around the first of the year. So I love that we get paid weekly, and I'm always bragging to people about how I think that's so cool that when you come into this company, we could get your money back by next Friday, technically. Well, now it could be by tomorrow. So I think that's really huge. Another thing that they're going to be changing is our event cycle. So our event cycle is going to look a little different come the beginning of the year. So one of the things is having that Elite Academy destination. They're looking at doing one more regional. So, that's going to take the cost down for people as well of getting to these places. But we've got to invest into our business and ourselves in order to grow. But I think that regional, it'll just be, I don't know exactly how that looks, but they said a little bit smaller elite academies at the same time, just different locations. And then they're going to have our global, our big, huge, global, and it's going to be a different location. To my understanding, it didn't sound like it was definitely going to be in Salt Lake City like we have in the past, because they're actually looking at, I think they said potentially a new headquarters location. So, and Chelsea, if someone else has the exact on that, let me know, because when I wrote that down, I think I was jotting a bunch of things there. So those are just some really exciting new changes that I think are big for our business and things that we can share with others to offer, once again, why we are so extremely unique. And one of the things, when I'm talking about events here, I'm going to pass it on and then I'll close it at the end here. But one of the things that I heard during one of the breakout sessions when they were talking about events and how important this is it said, don't make excuses for your team why they can't be at events. And my personality is such to think, not to just make excuses, but I understand why someone's not there because of finances. I understand why someone's not there because of kids. I understand why someone, life happens. But then at the same time, we have to remember that this is a business. And if we want to grow this to momentum and $1 billion company, we have to commit to our company to put in that time to learn. And, it comes back tenfold what you earn and what you learn after these events. The other thing that I loved, a couple little tidbits, but some other people are going to share specific things that we learned. But I love that the elite bonus pool, I've never really heard this before, that elite bonus pool where they're sharing global. We're sharing global money here. So it eliminates the word cross-line from our vocabulary. And I thought that was really cool when Dave Mattson said that, because that once again just shows the integrity of our company and that we are eliminating that cross line, why everyone is so helpful. And so I loved that. There was a couple other things that I jotted down. I mean, I have millions of notes right here, but I loved, we heard a lot this weekend about listening more. And I think one of the speakers tonight is going to go over that, saying less and getting over our fears. And there was a lot on fears. And I personally shared that I have so many fears still in this business, but it's those fears that make us grow. It's those fears that get us out of our comfort zone. I have one person on, I know tonight, lovely Nicole Wolf, who she's going to be speaking. And this is a huge thing out of her comfort zone. And so it's just showing like, we've got to get over these fears, or at least, go forward, do the things we don't want to necessarily do, because we always grow. And so I thought that that was another great thing that we kept hearing over and over and over again about. So, but with that, I am going to, because I want to leave enough time for everybody, and then I'm going to wrap up at the end. But I wanted to introduce Bev Heyer and Ray Wallace. I'm losing it right now. Could be my lack of sleep. They are an incredible couple, and they are from Idaho, and they came, and these two just never cease to amaze me that they continue to grow, to learn. And Ray and Bev, we were talking in this weekend, and they talked about it over and over again. The things that we do today and over the next 30 to 90 days, we may not see those results right now. We probably aren't going to see those results. Those things could take months, even sometimes a year, I believe, to actually, when you're planting these seeds. And I think they're a perfect example of that. They keep going and going and planting those seeds and building belief, because we're building followers of us, not necessarily of what we're doing. It's what we're doing, but it's not necessarily of just network marketing or LifeVantage. It's building people who believe, or building followers who believe in us. So I wanted to turn over to them because they're both talking about some important topics that they learned. So with that, I'm going to hand it over to you, lovely people.
Well, thank you. And good evening, everybody. We're still in Kansas City, by the way. We had another fun-filled day here, trying to relax a little bit before we go home. But just wanted to talk a little bit about a fantastic weekend that we did have with the LifeVantage Elite Academy and some of the tidbits that I took away from all of this. One of them is, this isn't a game. This is my life. This is our life. This is the things we need to do today to make our lives better in the future and to do the things that we want to do with our lives. The other one is, people need to believe in us or myself in order to follow me. If they don't believe in me, nobody's ever going to follow me. So, integrity, that comes to mind. Honesty, all of those types of words come to mind whenever I'm sitting in front of somebody and sharing this great opportunity and this great blessing that we have with Protandim and all of our products. And then something else is, and I don't know who said all these things, I just was making notes. After you asked us yesterday, I just started making notes. But anyway, have a clear vision about what I want my business to look like. And really, if you don't have a clear vision about what you want your business to look like, it's really, really hard to then turn to write your goals unless you know that. Because that's the good place to start, where you want to write your goals. What are your goals going to be to get you to that point? All those milestones, all of those short-term goals, all those long-term goals, and the final goal is obviously what you want your business to look like. The other one is reach down and help others. It's critical. We need to help the new people that are coming on board. We need to teach them. We need to work with them, and we always need to be beside them as we go forward. And then I'm not going to take a whole bunch of time, but the biggest one, and you kind of touched on this, by the way, and thank you. You took the pressure off of me, Des. Overcome my fears. Get out of my comfort zone and stay outside of my comfort zone. And if I can do that, my business will grow much faster than if I get back into my paradigm. I mean, it's just one of those things. You got to get out there. You got to be uncomfortable, and you're going to grow if you're uncomfortable. So with that being said, I'm going to turn it over to this beautiful young lady next to me and let her say what she needs to say.
Hey all. So, oh my gosh, there are so many things we could pick out from so many people that spoke on stage this weekend. I think one of the really neat things about attending events is that you hear things that have been kind of stewing inside of you, whether you realize you're coming to listen for that specific thing or not. You hear these things that you're like, oh yeah, I really wanted to do that. So one of the things that struck me, and I'm going to kind of refer back to when Shauna Mucklow was on stage, and she was talking about the power of systems, but she started talking about refining your story. And that came to me because, again, it was one of those things. I don't feel like my story is like a wow story. I am doing all of these things mostly for preventative reasons. I don't have like a wow story, but I know that I can relate to people, and I know that my story can be, I'm going to put it better than it is right now, because I know that a lot of people are in my shoes. Maybe we don't feel everything all the time, and that's okay. That's all right. But my purpose when I listened to Shauna was to say, okay, this is something I need to go home and I really need to work on refining a little bit. So my goal is to go home and figure out how to make my story much more relatable than I feel it is now. And that's a great thing for me. But Shauna also said three things. She said, take the products, tell people about it, and attend everything. So take, tell, and attend. She said, over time, if you take the products, you're going to develop that product story. And she said, fall in love with at least 2 of the products. Very neat tip there. Tell people about the products and the opportunity, of course. Be excited about it, love on them, and then also attending everything, whether it's a Zoom, an event, any of the videos or any of the CDs, listening to things over and over and over again. Then she went on to talk about duplication and the power of systems. If it's not duplicatable, then it's not a system. And we really just need to zone into that system, whatever system it is that we have that works for us, that we need to zone into that and make it duplicatable so that it can be a system and we're not just out there fishing around trying lots of different things. So especially when you're working with those customers and distributors, Shauna said to attract, retain, and train. So again, remembering that whole systematic approach. The last thing that she said that I always try and remember is to learn something, then do it, then teach it, then go back and do it again, learn it again, teach it again, and repeat, repeat, repeat. So those were my big takeaways. Thank you, Des, for having us on tonight.
Yes, thank you.
I love it. No, you guys were amazing. And I think those are things that we try to overcomplicate things. I know I always do. It's like, why change what worked when you first started? If you go out of the gates and you're doing really well, like, why would you change that? And so why do we try to overcomplicate it, for our teams, for people we bring in, keeping it simple. And I love, yes, that attending, taking the products, train, retain. I mean, those are all huge things that I took away as well. And so it doesn't matter if you've been in the business for 1 day or 10 years. I think hearing those things over and over again is so important. So thank you guys for doing this while you guys are enjoying your last day there in Kansas City. So with that there, then we have Miss Chelsea Welna from Omaha, who is going to talk a little bit more about Erin Brockovich was one of our speakers there, and it's super exciting that she's on our board of directors. And Chelsea is amazing at, coaching people on inspirational and how to be your best self. And so I said, Chelsea is the best person to talk about this. Some of the things she took away from Erin Brockovich and our other speakers there. So, hey, Miss Chelsea, we'll turn it over to you.
Thanks, Des, and thanks, Bev and Ray. You guys are all rock stars. Okay, who is excited, flipping excited, fired up? You go to the event, you're around all this energy, you learn all this stuff, and you're ready to flip and go. I'm telling you, these events are a game changer. So get to Long Beach, get to Cancun, because even these calls don't do the energy justice of what you take away. But I'm going to do my best to apply what Erin Brockovich talked to us about. You guys, it could take an hour sharing what she said. But this woman, if you haven't seen the movie Erin Brockovich, you've got to go see it. Fantastic. She started by talking about joking about people come up to her and ask her, if she's Julia Roberts, and she's like, no, I'm actually the real Erin Brockovich. And so that was great. I loved her sense of humor. But some words to describe this powerful, intelligent woman that I wrote down was smart, grit, courageous, real, personable, genuine, and she has an abundant versus scarcity mindset. This woman saw a gap and filled the need. This woman, being the first female on the board of our directors for our company, is a huge deal. She is not going to get involved with a company that she doesn't believe in. She's not going to get involved and be an advocate for something that she is not extremely passionate about. So she sees the vision, she knows where this is going, and the fact that we have her on our incredible, corporate team to take us to $1 billion company and beyond is it's just amazing. So even knowing that, you guys, use her, being in the company, share that she's with her company, because that's a huge, huge deal. But she got up and spoke. She was one of our guest speakers. And a little bit about her, if you don't know anything about her, despite her formal education in the law, she was instrumental in building a case against a gas company out in California that was making people sick. And that case won. And again, go see the movie. It's fantastic. But she talked about some verbiage. She loves to take words and make them her own. And the first one that she talked about was stick to itness. And here's the thing. I just want to talk about this stick to itness. As us in LifeVantage, it's going back to your why. It's going back to why are you doing what you're doing, and are you willing to go through to get to? Are you willing to get the no's? Are you willing to grow yourself? Are you willing to put yourself out there? Are you willing to get organized and take inspired action? That's stick to itness. Are you willing to have grit? Because that's what this business takes. So I took that word and just applied it to my why until LifeVantage and where we're going. And the question is, when the going gets tough, are you going to keep going? When she had people beating her down and telling her she couldn't do this, and, going up against all these powerful men and, a gas company, she stuck to it. She went through, she succeeded. And here's the thing. We can all do the same in our businesses and in our lives. There's nothing different about her and us, except she just had the belief that she could do it. She saw the gap, and she just did it. So the same is true for you in this business. She also talked about the 4 L's, and I won't get into all of this because I could be here all night. But the first one is logic. It's common sense. It's trusting your gut. Okay, trust your gut. Trust where you're being guided to go and be willing to step out in faith and do it. The next was leverage, working together, that 2 forces are greater than 1 or more. We create leverage in this business. I mean, it's fantastic. The next is loyalty, be true to your cause. And lastly was love. Love for your work, love for your family, love for your health, passionate. She mentioned one of her favorite books is The Wizard of Oz by Frank Baum. The Wizard of Oz is about Dorothy rediscovering herself, finding out about who she is. And I loved when she touched on this, because this is what I'm super passionate about being grounded, being rooted, knowing who you are, knowing your worth and value, because I didn't always feel that way. But the last thing that I want to share that she talked about something called RAM. And the first R stands for realize we aren't perfect and embrace our flaws. Okay, realize you're not perfect. Embrace your flaws. Embrace the fact that you're gonna, courageous people fail. When you step out and you're doing this, you're gonna get no's. You're gonna go through hard times. You're gonna go through things. You're not gonna be perfect. You're gonna send long texts. You might send long emails. You might over talk and not listen. It doesn't mean you quit. It means that you learn and you keep going. Okay, and the same is true for your life. The A for RAM is assessment and accountability. Think of it like a real estate appraisal. So it's seeing something that you don't like and choosing to change it. Okay? So a lot of people in the world are asleep, and they're complaining about the government, and they're complaining about, I'll relate it to LifeVantage. Complain about your upline. Complain about, not being as far as you want to be. We have a choice to choose to change it. Okay? We all have choices. So if you don't like something, be proactive, get in the grind, do something to fix it, fill the gap. Okay? The next appraisal. Appraisal with real estate will go up when you do. So I like to think of this in terms of energy. Okay, if you're putting off good vibes, you're going to get that back. You reap what you sow. If you are poor me, I'm not good enough, I got a scarcity mentality, I'm going to blame and play the victim, you are going to attract that into your life. Okay, you're going to attract those people, you're going to attract circumstances into your life that aren't great. But when you decide to get to work on you, when you decide to grow and change and know who you are, which is one powerful, confident rock star of a person, your appraisal is going to go way, way up, and you're going to attract those people in your life. And guess what? Your business is going to explode. And that's a good thing. Next, and then the last thing, you guys, is motivation. Take time for self-love. Take time for self-renewal. You cannot give away what you don't have. So you've got to take time to fuel your cup. You got to take time for your health. You got to take time to exercise. You got to take time to be still, right? Take time for you, because you can't give away what you don't have. That's what I'm going to say regarding Erin Brockovich. And thanks so much for having me on, Des. Love you guys. Let's do this.
Thanks, Chelsea. As you can see, she is the right person. She is amazing at that, and your energy. And Erin Brockovich was amazing to listen to. And I think it's totally right, like you were saying, that, we do have to take time for ourselves, and we do have to take, we have to understand that, we have this huge gift, and we are each powerful people. And so we need to show that, shine your light, show people what we have, and be excited about it. Because we're in attraction marketing, not really network marketing. We're attracting people to us and what we have, and they are attracted to, why do we do what we do? Why do we do this? And so I loved, talking about, like you said, growing and out of comfort zone, I was saying earlier. So I've got Nicole Wolf on here from Georgia, and absolutely adore this girl. It was her second event, And she always does whatever it takes to get to these last 2 events. And so for her to not only do that, but then to be on this call tonight is a huge deal. So with that, I'm going to turn it over to her for just a few minutes. And I know we're going a couple minutes over, but we've got so much stuff. And so we'll wrap it up here, but love that you guys are on and thanks for taking the time. So with that, I'm going to turn it over to you, Nicole.
All right. Thank you, Des. So when Des asked me to do this call, my first intuition was to say, absolutely not. No, I don't want to do it. But I told her maybe instead. I was like, okay, I'll think about it. Let me do it. So I knew that I needed to get over that fear and just jump on and do it. And so like Michelle says, fear the fear, feel the fear and do it anyway. So here I am with my notes and everything, and I'm gonna try and cover this really quick. And a few of my takeaways from Kansas City, they're really simple and they're things that we hear all the time. But I think my mindset was different this time, just hearing the different things. One of the things that really stuck out to me is all the stories of everybody who says they didn't want to be in network marketing. Like most people aren't out searching for that as an option. And so people come in as skeptics and people come in saying, no, this is not for me. Like me, I especially came in like that. And so we need to think of ourselves as gardeners and not hunters, and planting that seed and keep digging it and fertilizing it and growing. We're not out to get people. We're out to educate them and let them bloom whenever they're ready to go. So as long as we keep the opportunity in front of them. So from Brian Tracy, I have a few things. He says, make a list. So I've got my list. Make a list. And he said, find what you want, decide what you want, write it down, give it an expiration date, and then make your list and take action. And so the taking action part is always the big step for everybody, I think. And so make the list and take the action. One of his analogies was about a frog. And he said, if you have to eat a frog, are you going to stare at it and take your time and then eat it? Or are you just going to get it over with and eat the frog? And so with procrastination, taking action on your list, you just want to get it over with and take action and eat that frog. And so the other one was if you had 2 frogs to eat, do you want to eat the ugly frog first or do you want to eat the good looking frog first? So that's neat, like picking the worst thing on your list and getting it done first. And then it's out of the way and you can continue on with your day. And then the final thing that kind of stuck out for me says, if you don't quit, you must succeed. So don't give up. And so just keep going, keep doing those daily things over and over and don't quit and you'll get there. So that was my takeaway.
I love it. You're a stud woman. I'm so glad that you said yes to this because like I said, no one else wants to be the one having to talk on here either at first, So it's just all of us learning from each other and getting outside of our comfort zones and doing those things, those actions that we don't necessarily always want to do, but we always grow. And we're so thankful that we did them. So thank you tons for sharing tonight. And yes, I love that about writing down goals and doing that because that is something that I have not been good at. Like where I'll have it in my mind or I'll write it somewhere and then I don't have it daily to somewhere where I can see that. So that's one of my goals is to be better about writing those down. And I'm going to do that this week. So I'm holding myself accountable for that. So I love like what she was saying that Brian Tracy, of writing those things down, taking action and being clear about your goals, and writing them in present tense, which I thought was neat because I've never thought about it that way. And so telling our subconscious, like we already believe these things, we already are this person. So one last thing, because I know that we're over here on time too, but I loved what Daisy said. And I thought it was a good way to close, when we look at this business of network marketing and so many people have this negative stigma about it. I never had a negative stigma. I just didn't really understand it. And I didn't know it. I loved products from network marketing, but I guess I never saw myself doing this business. But I think I love what she said is because we do have to share this gift because so many people are looking for this opportunity. They're looking for more time freedom. They're looking for for more financial freedom. They're looking for the happiness that we get from going to these events and being around incredible, wonderful, like-minded people. So I thought this was really funny that she said that this isn't get rich quick, it's get rich slower, which is way better than the normal career, which is get rich never. And I thought that that was really witty and funny and I wrote that down. I thought she's totally right. So it doesn't matter if it takes you 1 year or 10 years to get where you want to go. I mean, we have the best opportunity here. And so next event, you've got to get there. Hopefully, and your teams, you'll get to know a little bit more of our notes, or we'll try to share those within our teams. But if you aren't at the events, then you can't feel what we felt, and you can't come back with this fire blazing. So I encourage every one of you to take this fire that we've got burning under us and go do something this week, take action, and share, love and this gift that we have. So with that, thanks everybody for jumping on, and thanks everyone who helped me with this call. And I'll let Chelsea finish a recording there and we'll get that sent out. So love you all and have a great rest of your Sunday.